Hey guys, so update day 3. Believe it or not, this is the walk to the ATM machine. Unless, of course, I've gotten myself lost again, which would pretty much suck, but I think I'm following the map correctly. Supposedly, this leads into downtown Nosara, where I can get some colones. Um, so, yesterday I did get lost, actually, coming back from the beach, which kind of sucked. I, uh, I placed my flip flops underneath some sand and covered it up with like this burnt log. And when I came back, I was looking for the parking lot. There's like a little dirt parking lot, and that's where I had stashed my flip flops, and I couldn't find it. So I asked the local, I'm like, hey, is this the parking lot? And she's like, yeah, this is the main parking lot. So I couldn't find it. Anyway, it was already getting dark, so I decided to walk home. Um, and because it was dark, I didn't realize that none of the landmarks were coming up that I had, kind of kept an eye on, making sure I was in the right path. So I ended up walking some completely opposite direction. It turned out the parking lot that I was looking for was a different one. It wasn't that same dirt lot. It was another one which had a road that led someplace completely different. So that's why I couldn't find my flip-flops, because I was in the wrong parking lot altogether. I had drifted when I was surfing, and not realizing that I ended up in a second lot, since it looked similar, it looked like a parking lot, parking lot's a parking lot, whatever. But I had drifted to a completely different place. So anyway, walking in the dark, barefooted, since I didn't have my flip flops. The roads here are dirt roads and gravel, completely pitch black in certain areas. Hurt like hell because all these rocks are like basically embedding themselves in my feet. Um, Also, they pave some of the roads, will cover some of the roads with like a sticky molasses, so that there's not as much dirt when you're driving on it, and it's less bumpy. So what the molasses does is it actually sticks to the bottom of your feet, and rocks stick to that, so it makes it just even more painful to walk on. So anyway, I was walking in the dark for probably about almost an hour, and came across a tuk-tuk driver. For those of you not familiar, a tuk-tuk is kind of like a little well, here it's a four-wheel motorized vehicle which has like a motorcycle engine, and they use it for taxiing people back and forth. So I asked him where my hostel was. He gave me some directions, so I just kept walking, kept walking. Anyway, I was walking for already close to an hour, and I see another tuk-tuk driver. I'm like, shit, flagged him down as well. Turns out it was the same guy from earlier. He's like, just hop on, man. Um, I'll take you back. I'm like, how much is it gonna cost? He's all, hey, pura vida, hop on. So he took me back, and it turned out that I was way, way out. I probably would have been walking for another hour in the dark, barefoot, in pain, if the dude didn't help me. So I was super grateful. I asked him how much it was. Same thing. He's like, pura vida, it's all good. Which I really, really appreciated. I was super stoked about that. Anyway, during that walk, it gave me some time to reflect, of course, as I always do. Um, and it's just like, to me, what it really told me was, the thing that kept popping up in my head was one step at a time. This is going to take a while. Um, it's dark. I don't know what the hell I'm stepping on. Um, Sometimes I was on a dirt road that had a bunch of cars, running through it, so it was pretty sketchy. Some of them had to like swerve out of the way. Um, I didn't know if I was going to step on a nail. I didn't know if I was going to step on a scorpion or whatever. Um, but I just had to take one step at a time. And that kind of started to make me think on the situation of my life in general right now. And I've been kind of wondering to myself, okay, how do I keep this lifestyle sustainable? Because I enjoy it. I really want to keep it sustainable. And I'm kind of trying to rush to those answers, like, okay, what am I going to do financially to keep this lifestyle going? And I kind of want those answers ASAP. But what that kind of reminded me last night is just take one step at a time, take one step in the right direction, and eventually you'll get there. And secondly, I've also been struggling, a kind of like a constant recurring theme with me, is I tend to shut myself off from very close interactions with people. Long story, I'll probably write about that some other time, but I always kind of keep myself at arm's distance, and so I'm sometimes reluctant to ask other people for help. Um, but when I was walking last night, I kind of reminded myself, I'm like, look, don't um, don't hesitate to ask people for help when you need it. Um, in fact, going to this ATM right now, my friends were telling me if this ATM doesn't work, you're gonna have to hitchhike to the next ATM. And about 4 people already told me that. And I've been super reluctant to do that because, it puts you it puts me in a vulnerable position, kind of an awkward position. But again, what that reminded me last night is it reminded me of what my friends were saying, the hitchhiking thing. Just ask people for help when you need it. Be open to it, and oftentimes it'll, if not, most of the time it'll work out fine. Just trust. So anyway, that's it. Thank you. Happy to be here, and talk soon.